The most dangerous financial advice you'll ever receive is the word save. Not because saving is wrong. Saving is necessary. But because saving and building wealth are two different psychological games, and almost everyone treats them like the same one. Saving rewards your brain with safety, certainty, the quiet relief of knowing nothing can hurt you. But wealth is built on the opposite feeling: uncertainty, discomfort, money moving toward something that has no guarantee. So here's the trap. The better you get at saving, the more your brain gets hooked on safety, and the more it will resist the exact behavior that actually builds wealth. You didn't fail at building wealth because you're undisciplined. You failed because you trained your brain to be excellent at the wrong game. Now, I'm not saying you should stop saving. That's not the point. The point is that saving and building wealth run on different systems in your head, and until you understand the difference, you'll keep doing the right thing and wondering why your life doesn't feel any more secure than it did when you started. The weight you feel about money, the background anxiety, the sense that you're one bad month away from trouble hasn't moved, even as your income has gone up. Meanwhile, people who earn less than you seem to be building real wealth, quietly, as if they're playing a different game. So you start wondering, am I doing this wrong? Not wrong in the obvious way. You're not reckless. You're not gambling. You're doing the right things. But there's a difference between doing the right things and running the right system. And that difference is invisible. It lives deep inside the brain, in the wiring that decides what money means to you, how you feel risk and we. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Saving money is good, but saving money alone rarely builds real wealth. And more importantly, neither does earning more money. The problem is not what you earn. The problem is the psychology you bring to it. Most people believe wealth is a math problem. Earn more, spend less, invest the rest. But the math is only half of it. The other half is neurological, how your brain registers reward, how it discounts the future, how it protects you from loss even when that protection is destroying you. And this is where most people get stuck. They know they should save and invest, but their own brain keeps undoing the plan through comfort, through fear, through the 1,000 tiny decisions that feel harmless in the moment. So in this video, we're going to break down the exact psychologically realistic path to building wealth. Not through motivation, not through hustle, but by understanding and rewiring the mental systems that control every financial decision you make. Hi, I'm Key. We study the psychology behind money, behavior, and the hidden systems shaping your everyday decisions. If you're someone who has a decent income but keeps wondering why the wealth isn't building, why the math says you should be further ahead than you are, make sure to hit subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Because what we're about to cover is the part nobody teaches, the neuroscience of why building wealth is hard, and what to actually do about it. Let's start with something that might sound controversial. Your brain is not built to build wealth. It was built to survive. And those two goals are not the same. Every financial instinct you have was shaped on a plane thousands of years ago, where resources were scarce and the future was uncertain. In that world, the brain's job was simple. Get the reward now, avoid the loss at all costs, and never trade something certain for something uncertain. That wiring is the reason wealth building is hard. Not because you lack discipline, but because your brain is running survival software in a compounding economy. Consider the two systems in your head. What the Nobel Prize-winning psychologist Daniel Kahneman called System 1 and System 2. System 1 is fast, emotional, automatic. It feels, it reacts, it wants the reward today. System 2 is slow, deliberate, rational. It plans, it calculates, it can wait. Almost every wealth-building decision, saving, investing, delaying gratification, requires System 2 to override System 1. But here's the problem. System 1 is always faster. It always gets the first word, and when you're tired, stressed, or scrolling at midnight, System 1 doesn't just get the first word, it gets the last one too. Saving is a System 2 behavior, but the urge to spend, the fear of investing, the panic during a dip, those are all System 1. So the real question isn't, how do I earn more? It's, how do I build a life where System 1 no longer wins by default? Let's look at the math for a second, but with the psychology included, because that's where the real difference hides. Imagine two people, same income, same city, same savings rate on paper. Person A saves $10,000 in a savings account, earning about 1%. After a year, they have $10,100. After 20 years, roughly $12,200. Person B invests the same $10,000 at a long-term average return of about 8 to 10%. After 1 year, $11,000. After 20 years, around $67,000. That's the standard comparison you always hear. But here's the part nobody tells you, the psychology. The average saver doesn't just earn 1% on their money. Their brain is also earning 1% on their effort. Because the moment markets drop, the moment System 1 smells danger, the average person sells. They lock in the loss. They feel the pain twice as intensely as they felt the gain. Because the brain weighs losses roughly twice as heavily as equivalent gains. That's loss aversion. It's one of the most documented findings in behavioral economics, from the work of Kahneman and Tversky. So it's not enough to know that investing beats saving. You have to know that your brain is going to fight you at the exact moment the math says to stay calm. The biggest wealth gap isn't between people who save and people who spend. It's between people who save and people who invest, and between people who let their brain panic, and people who built a system that protects them from their own fear. And this is where it gets really interesting. The reason most people never transition from saving for safety to building wealth isn't math. It's psychology. Saving feels safe. It gives the brain certainty, and the brain's single deepest need is certainty. Investing feels risky. It activates the amygdala, the brain's alarm center, which scans for danger even when there is none. So the saver's brain is constantly rewarded with safety. And the moment you try to switch to investing, your brain treats it like walking into a dark room. It tenses. It warns you. It makes you feel uncomfortable on purpose, because discomfort is its way of telling you to go back to safety. That feeling is not a sign you're doing something wrong. It's a sign your brain is doing its job. A job designed for a world that no longer exists. The people who actually build wealth are not the ones who never feel that fear. They're the ones who built a system that lets the fear be present without letting it make the decisions. Now you might be thinking, okay, but I don't want to lose the money I've worked so hard to save. Isn't there risk? Don't I need to be careful? Totally fair. And that's exactly why the transition from saving to building wealth should happen in stages. Not all at once, and not by trusting your willpower. Because here's the honest, realistic truth. If your plan depends on you being disciplined every day, your plan will fail. The brain is not designed for constant discipline. The solution is to build a psychological system that makes the right decision automatic, so that your brain's weaknesses never get the chance to make the choice. Let's walk through the step-by-step path. Step 1. Build your psychological safety reserve. Before you think about investing or growing wealth, you need a cash buffer, roughly 3 to 6 months of living expenses, sitting somewhere safe and accessible. But understand what this buffer actually is. psychologically. It's not just money, it's an emergency fund for your brain. Remember the amygdala, the alarm center. It is constantly monitoring one question. Am I safe? As long as you have a reserve that can absorb an unexpected shock, the amygdala stays quiet. It doesn't hijack your decisions. But the moment that reserve is gone, your brain goes into scarcity mode. It stops thinking long-term. It makes desperate, short-term choices. It sells at the bottom, panics at the dip, and grabs the first paycheck-sized relief it can find. Your emergency fund doesn't just protect your investments from your life. It protects your decision-making from your own brain. Step 2. Separate safety. Money from growth. Money. Mentally. This is the two-bucket system, and it's as much a psychological tool as a financial one. Bucket 1 is safety money. Cash, low risk, always there. Its only job is to make your brain feel secure. Bucket 2 is growth money. Investments, long-term, money you genuinely do not need for years. Its job is to grow, and it is allowed to move up and down. The separation matters because it gives your brain a clear story. When markets dip, you don't panic about all your money. You understand that only the growth bucket moved and the safety bucket is untouched. This mental separation reduces anxiety dramatically. It stops the amygdala from treating every market move as a personal attack. Step 3. Start smaller than feels significant. Most people wait to invest until they have a meaningful amount. That's a mistake, because the brain doesn't build habits from big events. It builds habits from repetition. Many brokerage platforms allow you to start with 50 or 100 euros. The goal is not massive profits at first. The goal is building the habit, wiring the behavior into your basal ganglia, the part of the brain that turns repeated actions into automatic routines. Once investing becomes automatic, once it stops requiring a fresh decision every time, the psychological cost drops to almost zero. That's when wealth building becomes sustainable, because it no longer depends on your mood. Step 4. Make it simple and automatic. The simplest financial systems almost always outperform complicated ones. Complexity is a gift to your own procrastination. The most powerful thing you can do is automate. Set the transfer to happen automatically on the day your income arrives, before your brain ever gets a chance to spend the money. This is the key psychological insight. You don't beat your impulses by being strong. You beat them by making sure they never get the ball. When the saving and investing happen automatically, you never have to make the decision, and decisions are where System 1 wins. For the growth bucket, simple, diversified, long-term investments, like broad index funds, are consistently the recommendation of even the most legendary investors. The boring option wins, precisely because it requires no emotional maintenance. Step 5. Reframe your relationship with time and loss. Here's the final and most important step, the one that separates people who build wealth from people who just accumulate it for a while. Your brain discounts the future. It systematically underweights rewards that come later and overweights the pain and pleasure of today. That's called temporal discounting, and it is the single biggest psychological force working against wealth building. But you can reframe it. Instead of thinking, "I'm giving up money now," think, "I am buying future freedom." Instead of feeling loss when you see a dip, understand that you're buying more of the asset at a lower price. The people who build wealth don't have a stronger will than you. They have a different relationship with time, one where the future is real enough to sacrifice for. Now, here's what most people don't realize. The most powerful wealth-building strategy is actually pretty boring. It's called consistency. Imagine you invest 300 euros per month, a modest automatic amount, into a diversified long-term portfolio averaging about 8% a year. After 25 years, you'd have roughly 285,000 euros. But here's the crazy part. You only contributed about 90,000. The rest, almost 195,000, came from growth, from time doing the work. Now, that number depends on returns that are never guaranteed, and past performance never promises future results. But the psychological point stands. Consistency plus time is the single most powerful force in wealth building, precisely because it removes the need for brilliance, timing, or luck. You don't need to make perfect decisions. You need to make repeated decisions. Every automatic transfer is a vote your brain casts for the future version of you. But psychology still matters here, because building wealth feels uncomfortable at first. Markets go down, your account balance drops, and your brain, wired for loss aversion, screams at you to stop. This is the moment discipline separates investors from gamblers, and it's easier to hold that discipline when you understand what you're actually doing. Saving money is like storing seeds in a jar, safe, visible. Nothing grows, but nothing is lost. Investing is like planting those seeds in soil. You can't see them for a while. Sometimes the ground looks empty, but underground the roots are forming, slowly, invisibly, and in a direction you can't watch but can trust. The jar feels good. The soil feels uncertain, but only the soil grows wealth. Your brain will always prefer the jar. Your job is to build a system that keeps you in the soil long enough for the growth to become visible. Now you might be thinking, okay, but what if I start investing and the market crashes? Fair question, because crashes are normal. They have happened throughout history, and they will happen again. But here's the psychology most people miss. For a long-term, consistent investor, a downturn is not a disaster. It's an opportunity. When prices drop, your automatic monthly investment buys more shares at the lower price. The money you didn't panic withdraw is now positioned to benefit from the recovery. The people who lose in a crash are not the investors. They're the ones who panic, who let System 1 seize control and sell at the bottom, locking in the loss their brain was so desperate to avoid. The market will test your psychology. That's not a flaw. That's the design. Your only job is to make sure the test doesn't reach the decision maker. So let's summarize the step-by-step path. First, build a psychological safety reserve, 3 to 6 months of cash, so your brain never enters scarcity mode. Second, separate your money into safety money and growth money, and understand that only the growth bucket moves. Third, start smaller than feels significant, and let repetition build the habit. Fourth, make it simple and automatic, so your impulses never get the chance to decide. And fifth, reframe your relationship with time and loss, because the future version of you is real, and they're counting on today's choices. Because here's the truth most people eventually learn. Saving money gives you stability, but stability alone is not freedom. It's just a well-padded cage. Real wealth isn't the number in your account. It's the reduction of your dependence on the paycheck, on the job, on the approval of others. It's the slow accumulation of options. And the only way to get there is to stop fighting your brain and start designing for it. Build the reserve. Separate the buckets. Automate the system. Reframe the timeline. Because building wealth was never really a money problem. It was always a brain problem. And once you understand the brain, you can finally stop working against yourself. If this video helped you understand why building wealth is a psychological problem, and not just a math one, make sure to hit subscribe to Key Uncovers. And I'm genuinely curious about something. Which step is hardest for you? Building the safety reserve, trusting the growth bucket, or staying calm when the market drops? Let me know in the comments. Because your answer tells me exactly which part of your brain is running the show. And that's where your next video should start.